How has Korea changed you as a person?
The way I've changed is that I've realized that you sometimes have to be as equally cherishing of what's going on inside of you as you are curious about the world around you.
Have you adopted like any Korean customs or practices into your daily life?
I do a lot of this. Two hands, bowing.
Being a foreigner, like out in Korea, like back then, what was it like?
Back in 2010, being a foreigner of any sort was a bit more of a novelty. Whereas I think now, at least in Seoul, you just walk around, people just let you go about your day. You're not surprising, you're not that interesting anymore.
What's your name and where you're from?
My name is Juju. I'm from New York.
So how long have you been living in Korea?
I'm not living in Korea, but I did live in Korea for a couple of months last year.
How has that experience been for you so far?
It's been really good. I came to Korea back in 2019 for a few weeks, and I actually had a really tough time at that.
How so?
time. I used to dress really differently. I used to wear really bright and colorful, like tutus and stuff like that, and I've traveled the world to different countries looking like that, and you get looks or whatever. And here it was really strange because I got zero looks in a way that was really obvious that it wasn't like everyone was chill about it. It was like almost like people were trying not to see me or like acknowledge my existence in a really strange way that I hadn't experienced anywhere else before. And it kind of like you're just walking around feeling like a ghost because you're just like literally no one's acknowledging like my existence, and it just felt very strange to like just have that. And so kind of it was in a time in my life where I was also going through some psychological things, I think, and so kind of helped push me into a little bit of a depression towards the end of my long trip here in 2019. And then I had to do a lot of development, went to therapy when I got back to the US, and then I'm even like shaking talking about it now just because it was really transformative for me. And so I actually really knew that I needed to come back to Korea, weirdly enough, because last year, and obviously every year my appearance changes a little bit, so I knew it would be different, but and I also knew Korea would be different. And I just wanted to see what that experience would be like and kind of to close a chapter. And then when I was here, I met more great people. And so I was like, okay, my relationship with Korean culture is definitely deepening and changing and definitely getting better than the first trip, for sure.
Before coming to Korea, what type of person were you?
I think before I came to Korea, I was definitely someone that was always kind of looking towards the outside world for reflections on like who I am maybe, and also looking towards the outside world just out of curiosity to see how different people express their individuality and stuff like that, for sure. If the follow-up question is how has that changed since then you know, definitely the way I've changed is that I've realized that you sometimes have to be as equally cherishing of what's going on inside of you as you are curious about the world around you and how that will reflect upon you, as well as how that will reflect like or what they want to give to you in terms of who they are.
Where are you from and how long have you been in Korea?
I'm from America, and I've been in Korea for about 5 years.
Living in Korea, how has it changed you as a person?
Being in Korea, especially for about 5 years, I've had to figure things out a lot on my own, especially when I first moved here. So I gained a lot of independence and a lot of confidence in myself to be able to do basic tasks like going to the grocery store or asking for water. I'm not so afraid to try speaking Korean anymore, especially to Korean people, because they're so nice and understanding when you try to speak Korean to them. I feel like even if I were to try to learn another language or go to another foreign country, I'd be more capable than I would have been before. And so I'm really grateful to Korea and Koreans for being so welcoming.
What type of person were you back home?
I'm pretty shy, so I tend to do things only with certain groups of friends, just follow the schedule that I have to follow. Definitely didn't speak another language. Yeah, so it really is, it's changed me as a person because I feel like I am more confident in who I am. Because back at home, especially in university and just leaving high school, you're trying to figure out a little bit of who you are. So yeah, that's kind of who I was before, but now I've been here for 5 years and figuring out who I am.
Have you adopted like any Korean customs or practices into your daily life?
Oh yeah, for sure. I do a lot of this, two hands, bowing. When I visited America to see my family, I really had to stop bowing to so many people, especially because they're not Korean and they're very confused. 감사합니다. Oh, you speak English, sorry.
And like, how did they react?
Most of the time, they just kind of do that, and they're like, okay. My family, they're like, she's just doing her Korea thing, so that's fine. Everybody else, though, that works at grocery stores they just, okay, yeah.
Where are you from and how long have you been in Korea?
I'm from Australia and I lived in Korea for 6 years.
Like, how was that 6-year experience for you?
Yeah, it changed me quite a lot. I think it was a really interesting experience. It was really challenging. I think I learned a lot about thinking differently, how people here think differently to Australians, cultural differences, how they affect people's mindset, I guess. And made me more able to think the way others think, I guess.
You made mention earlier on that you lived here for like 6 years. Like, when was that?
Yeah. So that was from 2010 till 2016. Yeah. So I came here when I was 23. So most of my 20s lived here, yeah. Finished university, came straight here.
How was it different? Like, how has Korea changed like over the years?
Yeah, back then, it hasn't changed as much as you think in some respect. Like, it definitely has. This park was not here, for example. This was all just empty land, I think. Yeah. So a lot has changed. Like, the food's changed a lot more international food. And also, I've noticed too, a lot of sort of Korean traditional food has been like sort of not rediscovered, but like is served differently, and there's a lot more love for the Korean traditions maybe than there was 10 years ago. They're rebuilding like modern versions of old style Hanok buildings. They're re-embracing the traditions, I think, which is really cool. The fashion's gotten a lot more casual. So in 2010 it was very formal. Everyone was always collared shirts, long pants for men, shorts only in July in the hottest months. Now I feel like it's a lot more casual, a lot more chill, which is interesting. Yeah.
And being a foreigner, like out in Korea, like back then, what was it like?
Honestly, I really enjoyed it, but because I'm white, I'm a man, it was fairly wasn't too challenging, I think. But I do think what's changed is back in 2010, being a foreigner of any sort was a bit more of a novelty. Whereas I think now, at least in Seoul, you just walk around, people just let you go about your day. You're not surprising, you're not that interesting anymore. There's so many foreigners here. Korea is just more used to foreigners, I think, and it's more just like, oh yeah, they're just people, they're just here. Yeah.
And before coming to Korea, like, what type of person were you?
I think I was a bit quieter and a bit shyer than I became living here, I think.
And would you say like Korea changed you like in a positive way?
Oh, definitely, absolutely. Yeah. I spent like early part of my 20s here. Korea really helped me grow into the person I am, and provided to me, a second home, really, I think. Yeah.
What aspects of Korean culture and lifestyle had the most significant impact on your personal growth?
I think for me, it's the kindness of Korean people, their sort of generosity, their openness has really, really impacted me, I think. It makes me think differently about how to treat people and how I want to live my life as well, I think. Yeah, it's been the biggest one, I think.
Where are you from and how long have you been living in Korea?
I'm from Italy and I've been living in Korea from like 3 months now.
So while living in Korea, like how has Korea changed you as a person?
I'm from Italy, so I'm very loud. And here I have to be more quiet and just not like many touchy with people, and this is for me it's tough as Italian, yeah.
So what type of touch are you referring to? Like, are you talking about hugging? Are you talking about maybe kisses?
Yeah,
What?
hugging, kissing, or just, maybe you're speaking and you're like this, and people is like, oh my God, why are you touching me? I was like, yeah.
And would you say, like the changes you've had so far while living in the country, like it's for the positive?
No, it's for the positive. I mean, I love being here. It's more relaxing.
Yeah.
For students, I don't know, maybe working here is not so relaxing, but for students it's wow.
Yeah.
I like this. Yeah.
So before coming to Korea, like what type of person were you?
The same as I'm here, but a little bit more louder and maybe more clumsy. Here I have to be careful because I don't want to scare people. Yeah, Korean guys and girls, Korean people in general are very yeah.
Have you adopted any Korean customs or practice in your daily life?
Yes, now I every time I enter into a place, I just don't put my shoes on, and I'm starting to wash my room with the they call them multi-shoe. I don't remember the
Wet wipes, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
What aspects of Korean society or lifestyle have had the most significant impact in changing as a person?
I think that respect that they have for other people and foreigner in general, they touch me a lot. They always kind. They always try to help you, and not because they maybe are friends or boyfriend. No, just because they are kind.
Where are you from and how long have you been in Korea?
So I'm from Chicago and I've been here for 3 months.
Living in Korea for 3 months, how has Korea changed you as a person?
I've noticed that here people are very disciplined in the sense that it's a very working society. So I've noticed that I've spent a lot of time in cafes studying just because the classes themselves are very short. However, they do give a bunch of work. So I've been busier here even though I'm not working or anything. Practically like school is my full-time job in a way.
What type of person were you back at home in Chicago?
What I do like is that this is a big city just like Chicago. So in terms of transportation, one thing is it's much safer here than in Chicago. Definitely that's one thing. So I felt like I've had more freedom to go anywhere. I wouldn't say it's that dangerous in Chicago, but it is not as safe for women as it is here.
How has the exposure of Korean culture influenced your values and beliefs?
So one thing is that back home I don't live with my family, so it's really put into perspective the importance of family because here I go to cafes and I love to see the parents with their younger children and how close they are, which is something that back home I kind of miss, you know, so sometimes it's brought me closer to my family even though I'm not with them.
What are your thoughts on how Korea has changed its people? Do you think it'll have a similar effect on you? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you'd love to see the full version of this video, check out my Patreon. Thanks again, explorers, for watching the video.